Also, tornado sirens.
Yeah, that's bad. No, that's really bad, my friend. What's up, my friend? Today I'll be reacting to I only heard these sounds after moving to America. Oh boy, this will be interesting. But before I go into that, can I ask you for one thing? If you can leave a like on this one, thank you so much, my friend. This is the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, well, in that case, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Now, link for the original video in my description. Lawrence, this guy is amazing. Give him some love. That said, yeah, let's play it.
Hello, for some reason I woke up next to a tree this morning, and that reason could be because I couldn't get to sleep in my actual bed because for the first time in as many days it was autumn.
Okay, and so what?
And that meant that my bedroom was completely silent, and you might be watching this thinking, I'm really confused right now, and if you are, that you could be British. Because in America...
Or Portuguese, but yeah, I'm actually quite confused. What's going on?
For the most part, your bedroom and most of the rooms in the house, especially in the summertime, are not silent. There's this little thing called white noise. And white noise is this thing that seems to permeate American society in general, and something that Americans tell me that they can't do without when they go to bed. And for me, it's...
Okay, real talk, my friends. I'm aware of this white noise stuff, but I almost thought was a myth. Yeah. This is unbelievable to me. So, if you want to sleep, you have to have some noise. That's crazy. That's crazy. If I want to sleep, I want perfect silence, or at least the closest thing. But this is a topic that you see a lot on YouTube, actually, and there is even playlists with white noise. Do you guys like that? If so, leave me a comment, because I'm not that type of person, but I would love to know your perspective. To me, again, in a good way, this is crazy stuff, because I really like silence when I go to sleep.
the other way around. You know, in Britain, I grew up with just really quiet, peaceful bedrooms, with the exception of my dad snoring in the next room. I got used to that for 26 years. I got used to this sort of just, I don't know, this general silent ambience. Is that even a thing? And then when I moved to America, bear in mind this was in the winter, so it hadn't yet happened yet, but by the time the summer started to heat up, we were putting on the air conditioning units, right? And of course, famously, we still haven't come around to that idea in the UK. It just became this thing. It sort of happened to me that as soon as I moved here, without realizing it, was falling asleep to white noise. And I think after about a year of that, it sort of clicked that this isn't how things used to be. So in America, every autumn, it takes me right back to my childhood.
Okay, honestly, this is super interesting. Because the thing is, I'm trying to imagine a scenario where I would miss some type of noise. And the first thing that comes to my mind is, imagine if I grew up in a big city, not the case by the way, but imagine if I grew up in a big city and I hear all the sounds around, cars, ambulances, stuff like that. If I move to a small city and there is a lot of silence at night, I may miss that. I may actually struggle to fall asleep. This is possible, right, my friends? Sounds weird, but it's possible, right? That could make sense. Our brain do a lot of shenanigans up there.
Briefly, because then the winter turns up and you have to have a fan on in the bedroom because the heating is too hot. It's like a catch-22. But while I was laying there awake at night and before I fell asleep next to this tree, I had some thoughts about some of the other sounds that I commonly hear in the United States that I would never have heard in England. And if you listen carefully, you can probably hear one of those sounds right now. Hear that? That is...
Oh, I love birds. That sound I also have it here in Portugal. That I'm not sure if that's bird, because I know zero about birds, by the way, but at least is a similar one.
Well, North American bird species, most likely anyway, because in the UK, the bird that you would hear most commonly is a wood pigeon, because it makes that really distinctive sound all across most of Europe, I think, and it just goes whoop, 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 whoop.
Dude, that's crazy, because yes, I have that bird in my city. I hear that all the time. All the time. It's actually crazy. Specific in the summer. Oh wow, maybe I don't have the others and I'm thinking I have the others. No, but I believe I also have the other sounds. But that one is very common. You guys don't have that in America? No chance. That's the most common bird here. I can have that feeling. By the way, the imitation was spot on. Lawrence, so talented.
Most commonly is a wood pigeon, because it makes that really distinctive sound all across most of Europe, I think. And it just goes, whoop, whoop, whoop.
It's true.
I realise I'm making bird sounds in public.
Yeah, no.
Here, you don't really hear that sound very often because wood pigeons aren't native to North America. And instead you'll hear the sounds of many birds. I mean, here in the Midwest, you've got cardinals, you've got the red-winged blackbird, you've got mourning doves, which of course comprise about 33% of my own family. And so the general bird
He ended up speaking Japanese right there to me. I don't know anything about birds. Anything.
ambience differs greatly between Britain and the United States. And of course America, being the giant country that it is, boasts a stupid amount of birds and an amount of stupid birds, but that's every country. And you know, the noise or the sound, the ambience that they produce differs immensely depending on where you are in the country.
It's
so
beautiful.
I can only speak for here. I've seen a cardinal sitting outside of my house on a telephone wire dropping
What is that?
but all the time chatting. So if you are the sort of person who's really into birds, which is all English people once they pass the age of 40, then if you move to America, get yourself a bird book. Do those things still, I don't know if they exist, but look it up on the internet, which birds are in your local area. And then what about the...
By the way, I'm not into birds at all, as you guys can see already. But this is true. I see some people, when they get old, they start to get into birds in Europe. And I wonder why, actually. I like dogs. I like cats. That's it. You know, that's it. I hate reptiles. That stuff, out. No chance. I have friends that they have snakes. What the hell is that? Come on. And I also have friends that they have spiders. Shameless.
But look it up on the internet, which birds are in your local area. And then what about the sound that you hear at a zebra crossing / crosswalk? Again, those differ all throughout the United States. Where I live, you hear things like, the crosswalk sign is on, the crosswalk sign is on, and we get the picture, mate.
No.
And I've been to places here where it almost sounds like a machine gun, like, right, which really makes you want to run across the road, so at least it...
Yeah? No chance. Is this true? No chance. Okay, most of the ones we have here make no sound. And the ones that make sound is very subtle. Maybe beep, beep, beep. Okay, that was weird. But you guys get the point. Actually, let's run it back. This is really interesting. If I see a machine gun sound, dude, I would, I don't know. I would go, never mind. Yeah.
Right, which really makes you want to run across the road, so at least it gets its job done efficiently. But it is mildly terrifying. In Britain, I can't really remember how it goes. It's something like beep, 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 beep. Probably making that up. Producers, can we look up what it sounds like in Britain?
Check that.
Over the last 2 years, one sound that I've heard commonly here in Chicago is my cat, but also tornado sirens.
Yeah, that's bad. No, that's really bad, my friends. That stuff, if I hear that in Portugal, I know the end of the world is today, basically. You know, if I hear that today, I know the end of the world is today. That's apocalyptic sounds. I hope I never hear that here, because we have no tornadoes, so if we actually have that siren going around, that's scary. Yeah. My friend, quick pause on this one. First of all, hope you are enjoying the video. If that's the case, do not forget to leave a like and subscribe. But let me share with you one thing. I have a Patreon community where I put content almost every day, a lot of early access videos. So if you want to get them, go to my Patreon, link on my description. And this is, of course, a good way to support the channel. That said, let's continue with this one, and I hope you have fun.
Tornado sirens.
Holy moly.
Tornado sirens go off when we're put into a tornado warning, and that's when we have to go down to our basement, get away from all of the windows, and just sort of stay put until the local authorities tell us that we can leave. In fact, my cat is well drilled in this by now. And you might be thinking, ooh, Lawrence, why are you including tornado sirens and not tornadoes themselves? And the reason is simple, because while tornadoes might be devastating when they do in fact strike, Americans are likely going to hear more tornado sirens in their life than they are tornadoes. And come to that,
Why? Oh, maybe because there is a tornado in the city or in the area, but may never hit your home. Okay, no, that makes sense. Never mind. That actually is very logic.
You're going to hear more tornado sirens in their life than they are tornadoes. And
No,
come
for
to
sure.
that, Britain isn't itself without the odd twister, and I'm not just referring to the sweaty board game. As a matter of fact, England experiences more tornadoes per square mile than any other country on Earth. It's just that none of them are strong enough to feature in films with Helen Hunt. So they very rarely cause fatalities. I promise I am happy about that. This is just my default face.
Okay.
But the tornado siren is most certainly something I'd never heard until I moved to the United States, although that's not entirely true. Because in Britain we do have such sirens, and they were once used for alerting us to air raids, and nowadays to another weather phenomenon, floods. But I can tell you unequivocally that nothing prepared me this year for the moment when I was just standing in a wooded area with my wife, and all of a sudden,
Holy moly.
that's not a plane in a heavy
No
wind.
chance.
That is the siren, just my impersonation of it.
I believe it.
And it was deafening. It was deafening. I genuinely thought the Germans were coming until I looked at my calendar, realised it was an invisible watch and that it wasn't the 1940s. So perspective is everything. I mean, it's always nice when you can just sit there and say, thank goodness it's just a tornado. Anyway, normally when we're hankering down in that shelter, otherwise known as the basement, you do find yourself morbidly listening out for that whoosh sound, right? Or at least I do. But most of the time, all you're left with is crickets. Not literally, that would be weird. Although it does bring me on to another point, crickets. I'm not talking about the sport. Of course, we hear that all the time in the English summer, not so much here. But crickets, the insect.
Wait, we have... Okay, what the hell is going on in the UK? I have this here all the time. Less now, to be honest. When I was a kid, I felt like this sound was more common. But okay.
I've talked about these before, of course. The sound that they make is very prominent on this side of the ocean. In Britain, we don't have that ambience, and it's a blooming shame because it's a very relaxing sound.
No, I love it.
I've never really articulated that before. I've talked about crickets on this channel in the past, but it is. It's a sound that I can actually sit there in the park listening to crickets.
You know what I did when I was a kid? I used it to actually catch crickets and sell them. Why am I telling this story? Oh my god, never mind, let's continue. But I actually did that.
Crickets, which is weird because this is insects mating, or at least sending out a mating call. And I'm there casually listening in on it. Imagine if it was humans and I was doing that. It seems like we have alternative rules when it comes to other members of the animal kingdom. I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. I don't want to do that to humans who should keep themselves to themselves. So those are just some of the sounds that I thought of when I woke up next to that tree this morning. And Mum, if you are watching, I didn't really wake up next to a tree. It's just for the narrative of this video. It's a weird narrative. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below some of the sounds that you hear on a daily basis that you don't think other people will hear in other parts of the world. I'm Lawrence Brown. You can follow
my wife. But that, never mind.
me on Twitter at LostInThePondUS, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that I don't have to. One sound that my patrons hear every week is the secret sound of my voice on our secret live streams. If you would like to become a patron of Lost in the Pond, you can do so today at patreon.com/LostInThePond.
Fantastic video once again.
Until the next video, goodbye.
Oh man, I really like Lawrence. You guys already know this, to be honest, and this was another fantastic video. A couple of sounds I actually, not that I disagree, but I experienced them here, so if I also experience them in America, that would be fine to to me. But yeah, I mean, what can I say? Great stuff once again by Lawrence. And that's it for today, my friends. Hope you end up enjoying this video. If that's the case, do not forget to leave a like. Also consider to subscribe if you are new to my channel. And also let me remember you about one thing. I have a Patreon community. I put videos there a bit earlier than I put on YouTube. So if you want to support me and have access to early content, go to my Patreon. I will leave a link on my description. Take a look at that. You can also scan the QR code you'll be seeing here, and that's it.